What's shaking, everyone? So today we get to talk about the return of the Big Ten Conference to college football. I'm a big fan of the college football system. I think that there is a ton of uniquely talented teams with a bunch of insane ideas at times, but it always makes for an exciting watch, even in the blowouts. And the fact that a huge conference is returning to the fold is a great sign. And the fact that Donald Trump had a hand to do with it is also a great sign. But before we dive into this Outkick article, I just want to thank everybody for tuning into the video. And geez, the outpouring of support lately has been tremendous. And if there's any other kind of sports topics you'd like for me to discuss, feel free to drop them in that comment section down below. And hitting that subscribe button sure helps me out a bunch. And even something just as simple as hitting that like button really makes me feel good, and it helps these videos get out there to more people, and we'll have more topics to talk about in the future. You guys are just in here on the ground floor, and I appreciate every single one of you tuning in for every single minute. So let's go ahead and jump into this article. Like it or not, return of Big Ten football, a win for Trump, and masculinity. This is a very interesting article when I came across it. I heard that the Big Ten was coming back, and all of the mainstream sports media is complaining that, there's going to be more cases now that these young people who are in great physical condition might get sick and die, even though that most of the campuses are fucking virtual at this point, and the only people that they're going to be interacting with are other teams that are going to be in some kind of a bubble anyways. So what the fuck? It's just more feigned outrage, but who really gives a shit? Outkick does a great job, so let's dissect what they have to say here. Donald Trump's biggest bet is on masculinity. It's his calling card, his defining characteristic, his primary tool for re-election. His opponents showcase their alleged empathy. Trump highlights his masculinity. Midwest people love football, a sport that rouses feelings of toughness, strength, and power. That's in tandem with masculinity. And what they define masculinity here is, it's not your machismo, over the top, bloviating blowhard, which Trump was when he originally ran in 2016. And if you guys would like to check out my analysis of his town hall presentation, the fucking guy has really changed. He's gone leaps and bounds into be more of a statesman, a lot more presidential. He is not this loud, bloviating asshole that he was when he had to get all the attention in order to beat Hillary Clinton in 2016. Like, what you see now is just a man who knows how to pivot to his talking points, still talk in a relatable tone for people, and not come off as inauthentic when you actually listen to him, as opposed to, to bring up yesterday's video as well, just the mainstream media saying that it was a historic collapse and a fucking disaster, when in actuality it was just a regular ass town hall. There was nothing special about it. Anyways, this article continues. I digress. On Wednesday, President Trump made sure to remind everybody that 2 weeks ago he called the Big Ten Commissioner, Kevin Warren, to make a case for the conference to reverse its decision to cancel the football season. On August 31st, it was completely dead in the water, senior White House officials said. Wednesday afternoon, in a teleconference with reporters, this is probably one of the most pivotal calls in Big Ten football this year. Yes, the White House conducted a teleconference Wednesday to trumpet Trump's role in bringing football back to the Midwest. It was the start of a victory lap for Trump. The president's chance to do the Heisman pose in the end zone or dunk over the goalposts. Being a little hyperbolic here, but hey, it's great. After speaking with Trump this morning, I can tell you that he is honored, he's humbled, and that he's able to make a difference in this, he said, an unnamed senior administration official. The president is willing to tackle challenges as tough as the Middle East peace, whether it's US or the UAE, Israel, or Bahrain, or actually get into the Ohio State Buckeyes or Michigan Wolverines to agree on something. This president is going to tackle whatever challenges there are and do anything he can to make America's lives better. Sounds a little bit hokey and overstated, perhaps, but Trump doesn't care. And that's a perfect analogy for what President Trump has been all about ever since the beginning. And that's why he has such great appeal to the Midwest. Like they said here, Midwest people love football, a sport that rouses feelings of toughness, strength, and power. Trump's 74, guys. He's not physically active in any kind of measure. I don't believe he trains. I think he believes that exercising daily is a big waste of time. That's where we part company. Like I've mentioned before, I am a certified personal trainer. And hey man, when you just espouse regular relatable points, and that is the standard for which we measure masculinity nowadays, fuck, I'll take it. Because I want you guys to think, just cast your minds back to pre-coronavirus, even Donald Trump. The average regular straight white male in every commercial, in every movie, was the bumbling fucking dolt. And it eventually started to become that the straight white female was either covering up for that bumbling dolt, or she was just as incompetent in the face of a minority woman or a smartly dressed man smartly dressed man of color, we'll say. It was getting insufferable. And then Trump came along and flipped that chessboard over, and thankfully we have somebody standing up for regular individuals who just want to be left alone, who just want to watch unpoliticized football. And that's why I also mentioned that it was very important that Trump had a hand to do with the return of Big 10 football. You see what's happening with the NFL. Maybe you don't because nobody else is, because ratings are down. Oh, geez, I wish I had it pulled up. Either 25 or 40% from last year. Get woke, go broke in real time, my dudes. I called it, but I can't take a whole lot of credit. Fucking Ray Charles seen that one coming. But anyways, man, if you think that having Trump initiate Kevin Warren return Big 10 to active competition is not going to play into the fact that this is more than likely at least going to be non-political, and in my heart, I hope that it's at least a little bit, pro-cop, pro-firefighter, because there was those fucking kids. They ran out onto the field in a high school football game with a thin blue line flag and a thin red line flag. Very hard to say, okay? I didn't know anything about the thin red line flag, to be completely honest, and then it was in support of firefighters. Like, there's nothing political about firefighters, nor should there be anything political about supporting the police officers. Both professions are extremely important and extremely heroic. And saying that you have their back, even in any kind of capacity, just as simple as, just tacit support. And then those kids got suspended. It was reversed, but they were originally suspended for making definitely the firefighter support a non-political statement. And just because Black Lives Matter is making everything political doesn't mean that support for police and the armed forces is by any means political. Man. So that's why I'm happy Trump initiated the Big 10 to come back, because hopefully we're going to have something to watch and I'll have something to cover that isn't going to be social justice-y horseshit. I'll leave it there for today, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Hey, it's going to be a little bit on the shorter side. I know some of these dissertations I've been doing lately have, kind of ballooned in size, but they've been very important topics. And hey, it's time for me to go do some research for tomorrow's stuff. So I'll leave it there, guys. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you guys to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.